Okay, so Vayechi is the right. Most of a good percentage of Vayechi is devoted to brachot of various sorts, whether it be Yaakov to Yosef, Yaakov to Efraim and Menashe, Yaakov to the rest of his sons. Now, the scene of Efraim and Menashe is one of the most famous ones, but there are so many things in that unit that are almost impossible to understand. So I want to read through it. I don't know if we'll get through everything, but at least to try to understand some of the aspects of it. Okay? So, in Perek Memchet, so you hear, "Vahi achrei advarim ha'ela, vayomer leYosef hinei nevi cholev, vayikach et shnei banav imo, et Menashe ve'et Efraim." So after Acharei Advarim Ha'ila, which always implies something before that, but we won't get into what exactly was going on. So they tell Yosef, your father is sick. So he brings his two sons. It doesn't say explicitly, but let's assume that Yaakov wanted them to come, right? It wasn't just Yosef of his own volition, but it could have been. But the story will imply otherwise. Vayeged liYaakov, vayomer hinei bencha Yosef va'elecha, vayidchazeg Yisrael vayeshev al hamita. So it's told to Yaakov that Yosef is there, and he strengthens himself, and he sits up on the bed, right? So that tells you that how sick is he at this point?
Pretty sick.
Right, meaning the given is that he can't sit up, right? It takes effort to sit up. Vayomer Yaakov el Yosef, El Shaddai nira elai beluz be'eretz Canaan vayivarech oti. So Yaakov tells Yosef, God appeared to me in Luz, in Canaan. He blessed me. Vayomer elai hineni mafrecha vir biticha netaticha lekalamim v'natati ha'aretz hazot lezaracha charecha achuzat olam. And he blessed me and he said, I'm going to make you fruitful and into a kalamim, into a nation of subgroups, let's say, right? Defining that is a bit hard. Maybe we'll get to it. And he gave you, and I'm giving you this land. I'm giving this land to your children as an achuzah. Vata. Shnei banecha noladim lecha be'eretz Mitzrayim ad bo'ei lecha Mitzrayim alihem Efraim and Menashe kiruvein v'Shimon liuli. And now your two sons were born in Mitzrayim before I got here. Efraim and Menashe, they are like Reuven and Shimon. Umoladitcha asher olat achreihem lecha yeh al shem achem yikaru v'nachalatam. And they'll be, right, they're going to, any children you have afterwards are going to get subsumed into Efraim and Menashe. V'ani, b'voi mipadan, meita alai Rachel be'eretz Canaan, b'derech, b'od kivat eretz, lavo Efrata, v'ekra sham b'derech Efrat, hibet lachem. And by the way, my wife died while I was on the way to Pit Lachem. And then, in Pasuk Ched, and if you can explain this, right, I will be very impressed. But if you haven't thought of this question, you will hit yourself. Right, Pasuk Chet. Vayar Yisrael b'nei Yosef, vayomer mi eleh. Right? Right now, unless he had amnesia, right? Literally, he comes unprompted and says, "Oh yes, Efraim and Menashe, those two children that you had while I wasn't here. I have made them Reuven and Shimon." And then he says, right, this is like a comic routine from a movie. This is like, I don't know, this is like Dory in Finding Nemo. Right? Right? I'm sorry, who are you? Who do I know you? Right? Like short-term memory loss. Vayomer Yosef el Aviv, Banayhim, Asher Natan li Elohim bazeh. Vayomar kachem na elai v'avrachem. He says, oh, it's your children, let me bless them.
Okay.
Ve'enei Yisrael kavdu mizok and lo yichal l'ra'ot. Now, Rav Samet is so bothered by this, he says, okay, these are two stories which are interpolated backwards. Right? Right? That really the second story happened first, way before, and this one happens later, right? Right? Because like they just don't seem to flow, right? I mean, the Ramban does this sometimes, right? But this would be a very weird time to do it because it's in the middle of a parshiah. Right? I never expected to see you, and I've seen your children. So he takes them away from his knees, and he bows. Etc. So let's just focus on that one pasuk. Right? Let's start with the weirdest part of this before we even get to the contents of the bracha. Right? There's this whole drama. He invites Yosef. I've been waiting for this my whole life. You know, it's amazing to see you, your children. I am upgrading their status to Shvatim. Any children after that can be subsumed. Amazing. And then who am I talking to again? Right? Who are you people? What are you doing here? Right? What is going on? Right? Yeah.
But, I mean, don't all the Mefarshim explain either that, I mean, there's Rashi's Prat, and the more Pashtanim explain that it's because his eyes were weak, he just couldn't see so much?
Yeah, but he just identified them. That's the problem. He just said, this is Ephraim. Right? Pasuk Vav is Vatashne Vav is Vatashne Vanechan Olim L'Chav Eretz Mitzrayim Ad Boi Lechem Mitzrayim Liheim Efraim and Menashe Keraven Shimon Liuli. Right? He identifies them. He says, these people are Reuben and Shimon.
He says these people are just...
Yes! Like, what do you... Right? Now, you could say, okay, I mean... Right? Unless you... Right. So you could try to say... Right? Well, maybe he's saying that in theory... Right? Right? The Chizkuni says what you're saying, right? Well, he was giving this bracha. He just didn't realize it was in front of him, right? He was... The Chizkuni says, Pshuto was like he was talking about Efraim and Menashe, and then it comes into focus that there are three people in the room, and he's like, who are those people? And Yosef is like, oh, those are the people. You just gave this impassioned speech about Efraim and Menashe. You didn't realize they were in the room, but they're actually right in front of your eyes.
Right, so Rashi's Prat works a little bit better.
Right, that's the Chizkuni. Right? Right, the Rashi says, right, what does Rashi say?
He says that he wasn't really asking for it, then he was...
Right, he was saying, whose children are they, that they're Ra'i to Bracha? What's the problem with Rashi? He already blessed them. He's going to give them another Bracha, right? But he's already upgraded their status to Shvatim, right? He's going to give them another Bracha and another Pasuk, right? But...
That's later, though.
Yeah, but... According to Rashi, he's asking, are they Ra'i LaBracha? Only after he's already given them the status of Shvatim.
Because at that point, it was nostalgic Shechina.
Okay, fine. But, yes, so Rashi says, he wanted to give them a bracha, Shechina Mimenu. But again, what's the problem with Rashi? The problem with Rashi is, okay, but why? So he's able to give them the status of a Shevet with whether or not they're Ra'i. But bracha not. Right? I mean, that's what you have to say for Rashi. That upgrading them, right, promoting them to a shevet, which is a big deal, that doesn't require them to be ra'ui, right? But giving them a bracha does.
Yeah, I don't know if you had any reason to think that they weren't right until the...
Correct, but it would be weird, right? It's still odd, right? I mean, it's still odd. Right? Yes, you can just put back the question, right? Fine, but it's really.
Did he know whose kids they were already?
Right. So again, the Radak also says, "Oh yeah, he was talking in theory, but he didn't realize who was in the room." Right.
So I was
But yeah,
we mean literally. He was asking whose kids are they, or metaphorically, meaning do they take after?
So that's more Rashi's say, right? That's more Rashi's direction. However, right. So Ed Shalom points out that there is another way of reading this. And that's to realize this part of the scene has actually happened once before. Right? When has it happened before? Well, there are many things, but just this one pasuk. Right? Just this one pasuk. Well, yes, it's happened there also. But I'm going to focus on a different one. Right? It's happened several times before. So it happened when Yaakov fought the person in the middle of the night. Right? Where he says to him in the morning, "What is your name?" And why does he ask him, "What is your name?" To correct him, right? Or to change it and say, right? It's an introduction to a change of identity. Right? He says, my name is Yaakov, and he says, no longer is your name Yaakov. Right? I think it's like a symbolic give and take. Who are you? I am Yaakov. No, you are not. You are Yisrael. Right? And he says, look at what happens. Right? He tells him, you are Shvatim. And then he says, who are they? So Vayar Yisrael b'nei Yosef Vayomer mi eileh, and watch the pasuk. Pasuk chet is, who does he see them as? B'nei Yosef. Right? And Vayomer Yosef elav banayim asher natan li Elohim bazeh. Vayomer kachem nai elai ba'avarachem. Right? But right, what's the context? Right? What's he about to do? And do what with them? He's already told you what he's about to do. But what is he about to do? He just did it.
Make them shvatim.
He's about to more than make them shvatim. What does he have to do to make them shvatim? He has to say they're not banai. right? Yosef, you're wrong. Right? They used to be your children. But they're not. Because now they are Kiruva and Shimon Yuli. So what does he do? He tells Yosef what he's about to do. And then what does he do? He sets up the formal change. Just like Esau, whoever that is, right? And he says to him, okay, who are these people? And Yosef says, well, they're my children. And then he says, no. Vikarei vahem shmi. Vishem avotai Abraham v'Yitzchak v'Yidularo v'Garat. They were being called by my name. They are not yours anymore. They are now mine. Right. So what he suggests is, right, the way to solve it is to say this isn't an actual question. Right? It's not who are they. Right. This is the formal way in Torah where, right, you have who. Okay, this is what we're about to do. Right. Who are you? So what do? You identify your previous identity, and then the person who's changing your identity says, that was true, but it no longer is. Right? And that's what Yaakov is doing. He said, you're going to be Reuven and Shimon. Okay, this is the end game. I'm going to transform them into Shvatim. So Yosef, who are they? Yosef says, they are my children. And Yaakov says, that's very nice. Right? Except, no, they're going to be called by my name. I'm giving them a name change. This time, not their first name, right? Their family name, right? Right? It's not changing. They're still Efraim and Menashe, but it's no longer Efraim and Menashe ben Yosef. It's Efraim and Menashe ben Yaakov, right? And so he suggests that that's the key to this, right? It's not a real question, right? It's that dramatic, symbolic setup to re-identify them. Right, and that's really what's going on, right? That is, before we get into the details of brachot, which we can't do today, right? What the key is this is a transformation, right? It's a transformation, it's not just technically, but of their status, of their very identity. Okay? Good.
How did Yaakov have the authority to do this?